What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you guys today is my review for Currency's new album, Pilot Talk 3. Currency released this album for $100 in a bundle, along with a USB drive, a t-shirt, and a book. And a lot of people have been looking forward to this album because of the success of Pilot Talk 1 and Pilot Talk 2. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest Currency fan, but I can definitely understand how he's been able to build such a strong and loyal fan base, because he's been putting in work for years, and he does make some great quality, chilled out music. Hell, I can even remember listening to him back in the early 2000s when he was signed to No Limit. He had this one song called Everywhere I Go, and I used to kill that shit. Now, Pilot Talk 3 opens up with some soulful vibes on the intro track called Opening Credits. And what I like about this one is how Currency spits about coming up in the rap game, making the XXL freshman cover, and his overall hustle and struggle to make it to where he is. I also really like that line when he says that they turned his lights off so he lit some candles and plotted, because it goes to show you that no matter how bad things got, Currency didn't give up and he kept putting that work in. And like him or not, you cannot knock Currency's work ethic or his hustle. The smooth sound from the intro carries on into the next track, Long as the Lord Say, where some jazzy horns gently ease the beat into place. But just like a lot of the tracks on here, this one doesn't really have a lot to discuss in the way of lyrics and content. Currency's smooth and monotone flow fits the beat nicely though, and the hook about marble floor hallways and staying smoked out all day fits the lavish and loungy vibe of the track. And in my opinion, the production on here is probably the strongest part of this album. And that's not to say that Currency can't rap, because he glides over these beats with ease. It's just that he doesn't offer a whole lot in the way of content, lyrics, and even his vocals might be a little bit dry to some people. The song Cargo Planes has some dirty boom-bap production from Joey Fats, and on this one, Currency spits about rappers trying to crawl under the bar instead of trying to raise it. Then, on the track Get Down, Currency shows no love to the culture vultures, and we get a beat that sounds like some elevator music with a funky bass line laid underneath it. Search Party has that elevator music vibe to it as well, and on this one, Currency spits about how the underground is where all the good rap music is. And he also says that he doesn't really fuck with award shows, choosing to just give his tickets to his girl instead. And even the song Froze, which I think is the worst song on this album because of the distorted vocals on the hook and the awful riff-raff verse, has some great production from Harry Fraud. Riff Raff's verse is just some straight up gibberish as usual, unless you're a fan of Riff Raff and you like his style, but thankfully there are some other features on here that are much better. Styles P drops some weed and money bars on Alert, and Jadakiss's classic style fits perfectly on Pot Jar, which has some really nice flutes happening on the beat. Currency's flow is as reliable as ever on both of these tracks, but again, there's not much content to get into. And it's not that I expect every rapper to be out to change the world, but lyrically, there's just not much on this album that I found interesting, or much that really made me think or feel any type of way. It kind of reminds me of when I reviewed Nipsey Hussle's mixtape, Mailbox Money. It's not that the music is bad, there's just not a whole lot to discuss. And I'm sure I'll get some angry people in the comments, so boo-hoo, we have different opinions on music. There are also some nice R&B vocals from Jay Townsend on the choir-sampled track, Life I Chose, but the best feature on this album to me is Wiz Khalifa on the 560 SL. His verse just gave me that vintage Wiz Khalifa vibe. And this track as a whole reminded me of the old school Wiz and Spitta days. I'm talking about that How Fly mixtape, which is one not to be slept on if you've never checked it out. Now, the overall sound on Pilot Talk 3 is fine, and this is a solid album from beginning to end with great production. But there just aren't really any standout moments. And to me, this is just another Currency project that will be good for a couple of spins before it wears itself out. Currency's style and flow fits these chilled out beats nicely, but there wasn't really anything happening on this album that made me excited to come back to it. And I understand that Spitta is just making some simple, laid-back music, but after hearing so many albums and mixtapes from him over the years, this is just another Currency project to me, so I give it a 3 out of 5. I think that the Jet Lifers and Stoners will be more than happy with this album, and at the end of the day, that's what's important, because Currency has maintained a loyal fan base all this time, so he doesn't really have any reason to switch up his style or stray too far outside of his lane. I just think that some other people might find this album a little bit boring. But that's just what I thought about it. You guys hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think. And as usual, do all that other good YouTube and social media stuff where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. That's the one that helps me out the most. Thank you so much for sticking with me as I do these reviews. I appreciate that. You guys have been very positive and supportive, and that's what keeps me going. See you guys next time.